This is kind of like one of the hardest videos I think I've made for this channel. This is not a easy thing to go through, but I mean it's just so crazy. Like, so I'm doing the world's largest day trading competition, right? And everybody gets 240 grand to trade, and whoever makes the most money wins 240 grand. Um, it's like a 2 week challenge, and oh my God. Um, so today was like the third trading day, and something really crazy happened. So I want to share it with you. I mean, it's not particularly easy to do. So okay, a lot of really crazy. I mean, okay, so here's the stock for the day was BCRX. They're a pharmaceutical company, and well, here I think uh yeah, a biotech company. Um, and they got like 6% of their company bought out. Um, that wasn't news this morning, so it popped this morning. This is a daily chart, so there was no pre-market. It was all organic in the morning, and like I had it just sitting on the side in the morning, right? So it had this pop, and then it came on the screeners because I think it got up to like here, and then it popped up on the screeners, and by the screeners I just mean like this right here would be our screener. We have just a basic like 9 to noon setup, and we're scanning it, and it just popped up on the screener. So I put it on one of my charts, and I just let it sit there because it wasn't much, and it does this little wedge setup here. And while it's doing that, I just kind of like let it chill. And I also thought I see this part here, and it kind of looked like an ABCD because of that big run up. And then at the same time, um, it's a little bit of a symmetrical wedge. So I wasn't paying too much attention. It was on one of the side screens because I was in a trade with a coffee company. But you get the point. So then whoops, yeah. So whatever, right? It pops out of that, and I see this. I see this candle right here, and oh my God. So it shoots right up, and I'm like, whoa! It's doing the D. The D in the ABCD setup. It's popping up because it's gonna crush it, and then it goes and goes. And I look at it, and I bring it up on the screen. I'm like, whoa, this is it. This is the thing. Um, and I take, my fingers. I guess I could. I don't usually I don't usually do this, but here. Um, and my camera, I just don't have it, so I can't. It's not. I don't have it. So this was the initial run up, and that's from like 290 to 320, 293 to 323. So that's like uh 30 cents. And I wasn't doing the math. It was really quick at the time, so I just did what I usually do, and that's just you finger it, you finger the difference, and you just go up. And I saw that at around 349, so that would be like a normal setup for the ABCD pattern. So I put in a short because I missed out on the D. It just went up too quickly. That was a 1 minute candle, so it went up really, really, really fast. So I couldn't get in it. So I short put in. We have 100 grand to trade. My usual position 75 grand, since it's about a third, give or take, and that's about the portfolio weighting I want. So I put an order in for the thing is, though, the maximum amount that you can trade is 10,000 shares. I don't know why, but with this software, you can't trade more than 10,000 shares at a time. Which it was, yeah. So I put in, I think it was four, yeah, because 10,000 shares, yeah. So I put in 3 orders of 10,000 shares to short at 349, which is what I saw as the price target on ABCD, because I knew that the peak of that is pretty much always going to be a reflection point, especially on a stock like this. I think this stock had a float of, yeah, about 66 million, and at the time there was only like 1 million, 2 million shares traded, so not a lot of the float was traded. It wasn't a particularly high volume stock comparative to the float, so I kind of expected, with this volume, it wasn't gonna skyrocket past the top of that D because there wasn't enough momentum. So I put in the orders and I finished my other morning trades, and it was just this. And then, as you can see on the time axis here, it gets to like noon, and everything's done at noon. So I mean, it just finishes. And everything, like everything's done at noon. Most of the traders they're out of it, right? Um, so I leave the order there because I know that if they hit it, they're not going much further. And I go and eat lunch, and I had a conference, so I went on a conference, and then um, I went outside for like an hour to read Daymond John. So I gotta get this video, but then I come back and it's like 3, and or yeah, it's like 2:30. I don't know. Apparently, the stock trailed off, and then it freaking hit 249, 250, or 349, 350. I got filled on all 3 orders as a short, and it just starts coming down immediately after that. So the ABCD setup, it was perfect. It was amazing. Um, and then it started tickling down, and then some really crazy stuff happened. So we're like right here. Let me do 5. These are 5-minute candles. Oh, whoops. Okay. What's a good way to? There you go. Here, let me get rid of all of these lines for you because they don't mean much anymore. BCRX. So, before this day, I was looking at the long term, and they just have been. I mean, it's just crazy. They were a huge, huge, huge sell-off, and just great potential for a 9 to noon trade. So I get going on it, and we're at here. I shorted here, and then it came, I get on my computer like right there, and I was like, whoa, I got filled. That's pretty crazy. I was like super happy. And I guess I could just let me just add the VWAP because that kind of is important here. So this thing comes and I'm sitting at my desk. It's right here, and I sit down and I'm like, whoa, nice. And then it just the instant I sit down, this is a 1 minute candle. It just crashes down to the VWAP, which is like the bounce point for it. If it's going to be anywhere, that's the bounce point is the VWAP. So I go to the orders, and the thing is with this paper trading software, for the competition, like they won't let you put in orders um, if it's like near the price for a limit, and like you can't do a market order with this stuff. No market orders because you'll get super crap spread since it's not real volume. So it's just crazy. It's oh my god. So I put the sell order to sell the whole position, and I'm trying to do it at the VWAP, which is at 327, and it won't let me submit a trade at 327 since price was like 330, and it just wasn't having that. So the highest I can go to cover is 326. It's 326. So I put in the trade at 326, and the price goes in real time to 326, but I don't get filled in the sim. So my order gets stuck. I can't liquidate it in a market. I mean, I don't know, man. I had the order at 326, and then the craziest thing happens is it bounces off the VWAP, and it comes up right here. Comes up right here. And I'm like, whoa. Because I think that was like, at that point, it's like 8 grand in profits. Maybe I feel it was like 8 grand. And then it turned into like 4 grand, which was crazy. So I see this line right here. And it's like a head and shoulders setup. So I shorted here at the top of the head. And then there was this first shoulder right here at the beginning of the day. And now we were right back there. We were at the second shoulder. And I was like, dude, this is a head and shoulder setup. So I shorted, I put in another order. We've got like 240 in purchasing power. My intended position for this was 130,000, just because I was pretty confident that that D top would be the D top that it was. But I only got 90,000, I think, in purchase power. So I put in another 10,000 shares, which would get me to my intended order quantity of $130,000 to for another short, and it won't let me put a short at 340 when it's at 340. So I had to wait for it to go down a little bit, and then when it was like at 335, 334, it let me put a short at 337 since I was outside of the price range that it didn't want me in, which was just the way that the competition works, I guess. And then it just sits there and nothing happens to it until like 5 minutes later, and I get filled on a short at 333 and 332 and a half, which is like right right here. Yeah. So I get filled like right here, even though my price was at here, which was cool. Is like because with a head and shoulders setup, you can expect it to go here because first of all, the base of the head and shoulder setup breakout was right here. So you see this, and then you're thinking it'll go up, and then after this, it'll come back down to this starting position and end at the bottom of the setup. And at the same time, this shoulder this neckline to the shoulder was 10 cents, and the shoulder to the head was 10 cents. So you could expect the neckline to the end of the setup to be 10 cents, which would have gone from 320 to 330 to 340 to 350. So I shorted at 350, I shorted at 340, and then we got slippage on a paper account, which was cool, I guess. I don't know. Nothing you can do. And then I was at my intended position size. It comes here, and the goal with it is to crush through the VWAP, break down below it, and complete the head and shoulders setup at that 321 price level. And then that's like, 40 cents a share, or 30 cents a share. Yeah, 30 cents a share on a $3 stock. So that's 10%. So 10%, 130, that's like 13.5 grand, which was the goal, right? So it comes here, and then freaking crazy thing happens. It bounces way up here. And dude, I was like freaking out, man. It was crazy. But you still have this neckline resistance. So like you can expect it to bounce off that and bonk all the way down. And like, oh man. So I'll just I mean, oh my God. So you got this, you got these levels set, you got that going. You also have this trend line, right, from the head to the accidental pop up on the second one. And then this stuff starts to get really crazy. So you have this coming down. It breaks out of that with this huge, huge volume spike, and then shebangs all the way up past the shoulder line, right through the neckline. And dude, I was freaking out because there's like half hour till market close, and I mean this thing was under the VWAP at 325, target 321, and you're looking for a completion, that head and shoulders setup, um, off of that initial entry that was very, very, very lucky. But also, like, you have the right principles behind it, and like, I crushed the entry. And one thing I was thinking for this, like before here, I was like, I can't be greedy with this position, and that's why I was trying to sell right here, but it wouldn't let me sell. It didn't sell. I didn't get filled. So I was like, dude, this is totally a sign. And then I see that first shoulder come up, and it's like a head and shoulders setup, um, which it was head and shoulders setup. So market's coming to a close. It does this, and then, dude, this was the craziest thing. Like, it's so berserk because it comes down here, and there's this trend line, and it comes on this trend line. It's a downward trend line for a downward wedge, and it pops out. It breaks the 9 and the 20 and the 50 EMAs, and then it has this thing here, and it was so freaking crazy to trade this, and it's so stressful because it was, oh my God. So there's just like, is this it? Yeah, right there. They have this green candle, okay, and then there's just like 5 still candles because no one knows what the market's gonna do as the Bollinger Band's constrained. And it's so crazy. Oh my God. And it was like straight berserk. It pops up, and I'm like freaking out. I see this shoulder resistance line right here. It hits that, it chills out, and then it has this giant reversal candle. I what's it called? Uh what pages is it on? It's yeah, 235. It's got the Black Crow reversal candle, and and that was huge for sell-off, huge for sell-off, and there's like 5 minutes left in the market. So it sells, but it doesn't get to the complete that head and shoulders setup. And so I'm freaking out because I know that like this thing's gonna get sold off at the end of the market day. Everyone's taking profits. This is how it usually is, right? So it does that, and I'm pretty sure I have to, because like for the trading competition, they say that all of you got to close all your positions by the end of the trading day, which is best practice anyway. You always want to close all your positions at the end of the day, especially on a stock like this that's so, historically volatile, and it's just a crazy company. I mean, they do this, and it's berserk. They're just a day trade stock. You don't hold them overnight. So it's like a minute left in market, and it's crashing. So I know like the longer I wait, the more money I'm gonna make. So remember, you can't do more than 10,000 shares at the same time. So I have to do 6 orders to sell out the 60,000 shares, because I forget if I said it, but I shorted at the shoulder line and at the neckline too. So I was like doubling down on it. Because it was, head and shoulders setup is such a strong setup. And it's always such a strong setup that it's just a great setup. But on this one, it didn't work out, and I was still profit, definitely in the green on it. It was just great. So put in 10,000 to sell because I got to get out of this position, and it was just crazy. Push buy, you buy to cover the short at market, and you push that, and you gotta do that 6 times. But after you buy at market, it like turns the share count back to 0. And I'm at like 30 seconds till market close waiting for it to drop. I put my first order in like 10 seconds till market close, and the share thing goes to 0 after my first order right here. And it was crazy because it's like, yeah, 6 seconds till close. I'm pushing sell, but there's no shares in the box, and I can't do more than 10,000 at a time. So I got to type in 10,000 again. I type in 10,000 again, and then it's 4 o'clock in 1 second, and market close, and now I've got like 50,000 short going into after hours. And I'm freaking out, man, because I don't know what's gonna happen in this competition. This is, absolutely huge, and it's been crazy because, I usually I don't think this is, I don't know. On the first day of the competition, there's like one stock that crushed it. I put a position on, but I got screwed on unrealized losses. My account got frozen. It's like 40%. And then this yesterday, the one that like literally triples, it won't even let me trade it because it's a penny stock. So this is a little bit crazy. This is like I'm really, really grateful to be able to participate in this. Like I graduate high school tomorrow, so I can't trade tomorrow. But there's still another week. So I'm really hoping that I'll still be able to participate. This is an insane opportunity, and it's something I've been working on for years and years and years. And I know the people that are winning right now, I don't know, they've got like 26 grand in gains. On the first day of trading that I got frozen on, I mean, that was easily like 30 grand a day. And then the next day was like a triple, like the position tripled. So with a 100 grand position, it's like $300,000. So I put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort, and I know the methods. Freaking wrote the book on the strategies. Um, and it just all comes down to execution and um and crushing it. So it's been kind of really crazy so far. Um, I really hope that I'm still cool to trade for the rest of this. I don't know what they're gonna do after hours. Um, but this is just such a great opportunity. I'm really scared because I mean I was partying an hour ago because I shorted at the highest price physically possible, thanks to my analysis. And now it's crazy because they were so close. Um, but the market didn't complete, and there's a lot of really crazy stuff that happened today. Um, this is probably the craziest days. It wasn't the biggest percent change, but like there's the pressure of the winners right now. They've made 26 grand, which is like a 10% return on the whole thing, which, this position was probably a 10% overall move too. It was not a big position. Today was, a slower day. Um, and you see this stuff going, and it's freaking crazy. Um, to see the competition because I got, lots stuff to crush here, but it's also really you gotta be on point. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Uh, bye.